All right, this is Reality Check, Hidden Heroes, Legend of the Whole World. We have a very special guest here, a living legend. She didn't only walk into hip hop, she kicked down the damn door from Pomona dance battles to LA underground ciphers. She's done it all. This isn't just about beats and bars. This is about pain, power, poetry. Let's welcome herself, Medusa, gangster goddess herself right here. Let's go.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored, you know?
I am blessed.
Thank you.
I am really, truly blessed having you here. Humbling experience.
Thank you.
And I'm honored to have you here because you are a living legend.
Thank
and
you.
You don't play no games. And I'm going to try to be on my professional. I don't want you to have to give me that look.
I won't do it. I won't do it to you. I'm in your house. It's how you want to run it. Let's
we
do it.
Mert. We got the gangster goddess here, the Duality. I just want to say thank you first before we get going. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing with me and being on this platform.
It is my will and pleasure.
So let's get right into it.
Let's go.
Let's get right into it. So, gangster goddess Medusa. What I wanted to get into is the topic of duality and maybe more.
I like that.
Because we get into these conversations or into these walks in life where people want to tell you who you are. And I did a deep dive. I went down the rabbit hole, and you have been someone who has told people, no, I define who I am.
Absolutely.
Where did that come from?
Probably from, it starts with having a young mother
who
was living that struggle.
Okay.
You know, because most women that were single and had children back in the day would typically give one of the children to the grandmother to raise, or both of them. If, you know, you're 16, 20 years old,
right.
You know, my mother didn't do that. And she went to school to be a nurse.
Okay.
At the same time. And, you know, messing with the Panther Party, being from proper LA, going to Dorsey High, you know, being a dancer and choosing to have the child over dancing professionally.
Yeah.
You know, so her being a first God's child, then a black woman, then a mother, then, you know, so when people saw her from that age bracket, the grown ones are like, where's your man?
Oh, man.
Where's your husband at? You got these kids.
Being dismissive already.
Right. So now she's got to battle that. Then it's, why aren't you in school, and why do you have all these kids? Where's that support system? You know, and how are you gonna do? You should just get a job. How are you gonna go to school and do this? Is the 60s, 70s. You know what I'm saying? So her being full bloom who she is while she has a child and then 2 children, I watched her work with that. I watched her define the expectation of what a black woman should have at that time. Do you know how difficult it is to be a black woman in the 60s just to get an apartment with 2 children without a man?
No, I do not.
Exactly.
Exactly. No, I do not.
So to see her do that over and over again and move out of LA to Pomona without her support system and push that through, that was everything.
And that was Mama raising a G?
Mama raising a G, absolutely. And to still see the joy on her face while listening to music and cleaning the house. You know what I mean? To still see this woman cooking, and she could cook. You know what I mean? So let's do that. She could clean, cook, take care of the kids, go to school. Come on, man. And make the money to... Stop playing with me.
There is no box.
No.
There is no box.
No.
You are not going to marginalize me. And what better example than your mom?
Absolutely.
And did you realize that? I'm not sure if you realized it in the moment, or was that something that just happened to take place as you were witnessing it, and you got to a point where you were like, I'm gonna raise the G.
It was more like I'm absorbing it. this is my reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't see anything different than that until I get grown enough to be allowed to go into other people's homes. You know, that was another thing. You know,
Oh.
you absorbed home first and what she had to teach you first.
Yep.
She wasn't just gonna let you go to somebody's house and get that without knowing what this is, what the
Mm-hmm.
home is, what homestead, what mama is. You know, I come from a mother that if I went to someone's house to play, she went to the house to meet the parents, did a walkthrough of the house to make sure it was a safe and clean environment for me to be in.
Right.
Nobody does that anymore.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with those checklists that I had to witness, they became a part of me automatically.
Automatically.
I am that. I am Brenda's child. You know what I mean? And to know that she had to, I've seen her thug her way through
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
We went hungry with her. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And she never gave up. So that's how I live.
Life lessons just
Yes.
all along the way. And I could question, be like, how did that benefit you in music? Clearly, it benefits you in every walk in life because
Absolutely.
I know my self-worth. I know my value.
Mhm.
I'm emotionally intelligent.
Yep.
And that goes to check your feelings.
Yes.
You know, like
And it got my mama's hustle.
got my mama's hustle.
That right there was everything. I told it all in that song. I tell all my business in my songs. You just got to be willing to listen.
I was telling Badu that I like, and this is just you. What you had a quote in one of your songs at the end. It was Medusa spit, and I think it was you. The wisdom to be wise. You know how much you don't know, like the extent of your knowledge, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
to what you know, and I got stuck on this song. Like
Wow.
I got stuck because I go down rabbit holes. I try to do my research so I could do a good job.
That was Catch Your
And-
Feelings.
Catch your feelings.
Mhm.
And I mean, I was just on repeat.
Wow.
And it was like, damn, it was a humbling moment for me because it was like, I try to say that I'm up on stuff and I know things.
Right.
And I did my family a disservice by not knowing you and
Oh,
not
wow.
knowing how amazing and this and that, because I feel like we missed out on so many performances,
Wow.
such a big chunk of life that could have benefited me and my wife.
That's all love.
It's so,
just
and so, but thank
it's
God
it's here now.
it's here now and
Yeah.
you're in my living room. I'm overjoyed,
Thank you.
you know, and I'm sad my wife's not here. She didn't get to meet you, but I just want to say your music, the things that you're saying
Mm.
are so relevant and relatable
Thank you.
and it's repeatable.
Mm.
Like, let me give my sermon again.
Thank you. I write trying to be most quotable. You know what I mean? And whether you hear it when I create it or later, it's somebody gonna get the dose.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I know it's gonna be from 8 to 80. You know what I mean? It's something that your child, you, and your grandmother will be able to digest
Mm.
and relate to. You know, not that I'm writing with that intention. It's that I have all of those people in me. I have my great grandmother. You know what I mean? I have that child still in me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be 6 years old in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm a 60-year-old woman. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any children. So I raise people though within what I do, within whatever workshops. You know, if someone's child isn't being properly attended to,
Mhm.
I will give that attention.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm super observant, not on my own dick right now. I'm just sharing who I am as a person.
You
know
can
what I
be
mean?
what's needed in the environment.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because it's necessary. And people shy away from doing that and being that.
Mhm.
You know, and I had to be that for myself. You know, I was just having the conversation and did a song with Tony Ozier, and I put a verse in expressing when I was homeless.
Okay.
No one knew I was homeless. You know, I just took a cool 12-hour shift every day
Mhm.
so that I worked and stacked my cash, but I was still out there with my afro and bell bottoms, and I was serving tables and getting my tips and would go to my homegirl Aphrodite spot and she would let me shit shower and shave
Yeah.
and catch a meal, and then I'm back to work. until I stacked and moved to Leimert Park. Now, Leimert Park, me living in Leimert Park for 22 years was the longest I ever lived anywhere with my mother and all. You know what I'm saying? So just that movement, it wasn't a struggle. It was a moment of truth. It was growth. I went to my great aunt's house. I say all of this is in the verse. Went to my great aunt's house. She got this big, beautiful, extravagant piece of property, and I thought I could stay. I thought. And that's not what happened. So I had to dust it off, and I had to stand up and become this person.
Can we talk about what happened?
Fresh, out of jail, I thought I was still gonna hustle a little bit, and realized I was too paranoid to do that hustle anymore.
Okay.
And
because you knew the cost of what the cost was.
Absolutely. The paranoia was the cost enough. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. You walk around trying to do dirty paperwork, and the brother walks up, and you're like, all of a sudden you ask, you a cop? Let me frisk you. Where'd you die? Like, damn, dude, you've known me for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, after that, I realized, like, I have to do this another way. Either I'm going to be fully Medusa, fully committed to this art, to gifting my experience, or I'm going to get a regular job, a 9-to-5, and try to figure that out. And I was like, no, I got something to give. God told me, you got something to give. Do that. So I went and wait tables and was a host at different spots and whatnot. And the hustle, the grind. I had to find it. And at the same time, still writing rhymes, still trying to find my way into a studio here and there. You know what I mean? Still trying to be clear with myself. It's not about being relevant. It's about being passionate and consistent, So that's
passion and consistency to reach your goal, to get to where you want.
Absolutely.
Because it's the journey.
It is.
It's the journey.
The journey has made me exactly who I am.
Speaking of journey, right? I always bring up The Alchemist, the book. And I just love that book, how it tells the story of the journey.
Feel that.
It's not about the end, but you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Mass men. Mass men.
Mass ministry.
Mass ministry. Mass men. And
that's the clarity.
That's the clarity.
People say mass men.
Okay.
It's not mass men, MEN. It was mass ministry.
Ministry. See, I thought it was mass MEN.
See,
exactly. For sure. So mass ministry, not getting into that group led to you pursuing what I want to build as my own.
Yes.
Which I believe is Feline Science.
Yes.
Okay. So with that story alone, or that just the optics of that, of not letting the door be closed. Okay, that door closed, but that's just a redirection.
Redirection,
exactly. To my real.
Exactly.
Can we talk about that?
That moment, it was painful on one end, because Fat Jack is working with Abstract, and Abstract is getting all the lovely beats and all the flavors, and when I said I'm a mass man, and Fat Jack's like, yeah, she's mass man, and I got pulled aside and was like, well, it's mass men, and I knew it to be ministry. So when he said, maybe you should, create your own thing, I took it as a hit, and then I took it as inspiration.
Right. And
I was like, maybe he's right. Let me not open another door, but let me create another door. Let me create another foundation where this door can be built. And it may be from scratch, and it may take a minute. It may take searching through people to find who's about this life, who will listen enough to take what I have to give, because felines were not singers. These girls didn't come to me as singers. I made them singers.
Really?
Yes. Honey Love, Akua, my first felines, they didn't know how to sing. Honey Love came to me and she was pop locking with Pep Love. She was trying to pop. And she was so pretty and had a little voice to her because I overheard her singing to some music.
Yeah.
I was like, Nah, come here. Come here. This is what we gonna do. You don't have to harmonize. Just catch this unison.
Mm-hmm.
What I sing, you sing. And let me give you, I listen to albums still to this day. I listen to old school. So I would put on the labels. I would put on examples of what I wanted them to sound like.
Okay.
And they would rehearse. We would sound like, let's hit these notes. You hear this, hey, hey, hey. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Until it got fine-tuned and they could follow me in anything.
That is incredible because you went your lane, right?
Yes.
But then you also created a space for others who may have had that door shut.
Come on.
So it wasn't even just about you.
It was about everyone. Who's the underdog in this? When I started a band, it was a percussionist and a bass player. And it built from there. People would see me perform and be like, you need a drummer? Yeah, I need a drummer. Yeah, I'm right. And the person playing the bass isn't a bass player. He just has a bass and he finds some strings. He hits some notes. And when I started like things like Nappy at the Roots, it was at the least likely spot called Black to Jupiter on Adams. It wasn't at Fado Do's. It was at Black to Jupiter. People like, I remember when you first started at Fado. I'd be like, you don't know my story then. I started at Black to Jupiter. And Black to Jupiter still had missing areas of walls that hadn't been completed yet.
Really?
You know what I mean? You can still see the electrical wires coming out of
conduits.
Shit. But my boy Royce, this elder in the community, saw a vision in it. And I saw my vision within his vision. And I called on the troops. I was like, I called Kilu, can you come spin? You know, Racist Spades, was it Racist Spades? Yeah, it was an all black band that was called on some rock. Like, will you come and get down with me? It was, what's the short bald head brother? Oh my God, they used to make the speakers and the bikes. Oh my God. Stacks, yes. Thank you. Oh, you're not supposed to be there.
You're not here, Badu.
My bad.
Badu, you're not here.
So it was a combination of everybody, and me and Coco. Coco was doing something else. I'm like, no, this is the spot right here.
Okay.
So Stacks created an area when you first walk into Black to Jupiter where you could record shop and get old school posters and like he had classic shit. So that was his area. He built that up.
Okay.
The next area was a full-on warehouse size where it was the dance area and where the performances happened. Behind that, it was a pool table and television area. So I used that television to showcase up-and-coming directors' films.
Okay.
And then in the back, it was wide open. So he had an old playhouse castle front from a play that he did. We had that as the bar. And we made jungle juice every time we had Nappy at the Roots. And when I say jungle juice, I mean every liquor you possibly think of with every fruit
in there.
And they was $5 a cup. And you could smoke outside. We had little risers and bleachers everybody sat on. And it became the spot. It went from maybe 20 people to 800 people would end up coming to this spot. I had my homegirl Juicy was making Filipino chicken bowls in the back.
Chicken adobo?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. You get some vegetables or you get this chicken.
Yeah, right.
So it was popping like that. And then Jay Smooth said, hey, I got this new group. You know, they call Goody Mob. You want to bring them over to the top.
What?
So we were the first spot to have Goody Mob in LA.
What?
Yes.
People in my window.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Stop playing. And then I would have like battles where I walked around with a top hat and it had 2 decks of cards sprinkled in the hat. Mm-hmm. And you got to pull from the hat, and whoever got a card that matched, you had to battle.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And you had to battle either to the DJ or to the band. And we would perform, me and Coco would perform every night, faithfully.
And that's sharpening your skills also.
Yes.
That's also sharpening your skills.
Absolutely.
In front of people.
Come on.
You can't hide from this.
Come on.
There ain't no nah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's get up there, get on it.
And get that. And we when I got out of jail, I got my start sharpening my teeth at the Good Life Café.
Good Life Cafe. Okay.
Okay. Now that if that ain't sharpening your tool, I don't know what is.
I read a lot about people seeing you the first time they saw you at Good Life Cafe was at Good Life Cafe performing Power of the P.
Yes. Power of the P. And
that's a whole hour.
Yeah,
thing.
that's
I
a whole other conversation. But
because
I mentioned Good Life. I can't speak on me without mentioning that because that was my first taste of being Medusa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was the battles in the parking lot, the rhyming inside and not being able to cuss. B Hall and her son Rod running around this little space, making sure everybody was acting right in it. You know what I mean? You could get your good soul food, vegetarian soul food. Everybody was on a light. It was an energy. You wanted to be there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you had to spit for yours when that beat came on. You better be cold.
You got to fight for it.
You better get it. So me experiencing that and other open mics made me say, oh yeah, let me go all the way left with this Nappy at the Roots. Let me supply for all the underdogs.
Yeah.
Because I'm an underdog and I love a good underdog, even with my students. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want that left one, that weird one.
Come here.
Yeah, you all right with me.
Bring your weird ass over here. We're about to harness this.
Yeah, we about to get that.
What?
Yeah.
And so you see talent. And can I ask you, where was Good Life located? Like located?
Exposition in Crenshaw.
Exposition in Crenshaw, right at the root. Like
right at the railroad, the railroad crossing damn near.
And
yeah.
So as you're developing, as you're building, I want to ask also, in today's time, is there a Good Life? Is there like a place that you created for people to go now? Is there one of those?
I still do Nappy at the Roots from time to time, and just had a discussion with Steve at Fado Does. He wants to bring that back.
Okay.
And he hit me while he was in New Orleans and was like, I'm thinking of bringing it back. What do you think about that? I was like, are you asking me to do Nappy at the Roots? He was like, Pop. Yep, I am. I'm like, okay, then we could definitely vibe that, you know. But and me and Georgia Ann Muldrow bought Nappy at the Roots back at a place called the Oracle Tavern downtown.
Okay,
and that went off once again. Still,
because there's a need
everybody.
For it.
Yeah,
there's a need.
There has to be. There is for good music. There's a lot of pay to play. There's a lot of crews that pat each other on the back, but there's nobody there to tell them. There's nobody there to be the Motown to say, that ain't dope. You need to work that out a little harder before you come. Instead, they giving each other dabs on some whack shit.
No constructive criticism. No, none of that. No critiquing.
And then their whole mental makeup they can't take the constructive criticism. They'll think that you hating. They'll go home and want to slit their wrist.
Yeah, mama didn't raise a G over there.
Whoa, what is going on?
They didn't have it.
Yeah.
Because it's, really, I don't want, for lack of better words, I'm going to say soft. Right?
Yes.
Like, I'm just going to say, just for lack of better words, I don't have a better one. But not being able to deal with adversity.
Come on.
And being able to say, oh, you think I'm white? Okay, catch me tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Exactly.
Watch this.
That's how you're supposed to be.
But they don't have that pick themselves back up. It's like they get knocked down.
Right.
They either stay there or they go somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Till somebody says, you're dope.
Yeah, you need this validation. Who do you need validation from? And that's where I go back to you not listening to no's.
Right.
Singing. While on record, singing while right, you ain't supposed to do that.
Right.
You ain't supposed to have a band on stage. You ain't supposed to do that. Like, what if now imagine if you would have listened to them people.
And just strictly spit bars without exploring. Like, wait a minute, I'm raised with a mom. First of all, my auntie, Billy Calvin, she was with a group called The Undisputed Truth. And they opened for
Jackson 5?
The Jackson 5. So that inspiration right there, watching them win over that crowd every night.
Wait, you saw that?
Yeah, she took me on a West Coast run. I was 7 years old.
What?
7 backstage.
Oh, it's destiny. It was destined. Like,
And I was like, why is the crowd like not in right now? Because they don't know them. But by the end of their set, that crowd was up on their feet. I watched them win this crowd over every night. And that was electric for me at 7.
wow.
And it always stuck with me. So I kind of at fault, I almost put myself in a position to have to win a crowd over.
So did it start at 7? Did that music start at 7? Like, I want to be this.
I wrote my first song at 7.
What? What's the name? Do you remember the name?
It's Angel in the Sky.
Angel in the Sky.
Yeah.
What?
And my auntie took it, freaked it, but kept the hook, and it was on Rolls Royce's second album. Yeah.
Wow.
I heard it on KACE. I was sitting
at 7.
I was 7 when I wrote that. Me and my Uncle Troy. I'm playing the upside down pumpkin head, you know, the hard plastic ones. I'm playing the percussion. He was playing the guitar. He came up with a cute little lick. And I wrote this hook, started singing this hook. She came in. She was like, what is that you guys are doing? Do it again. The angel in the sky.
Her baby over there singing. Yeah, like she's like, look at my baby.
Look at that sugar. That me not knowing that she held on to that, harnessed it into this song for Rolls Royce until I heard it on KACE one night.
What did that do to
man?
What did that do to this?
It was everything. It was everything. It validated every art that I thought I should be a part of. You know what I mean? And
I am this.
Just singing.
I am this.
I am. And I'm from this. My mama a dancer. So when I started pop locking, I was like...
Because we ain't got into dancing yet.
Yeah.
We ain't got into dancing yet.
We gonna hold off.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it did what it was supposed to for me. And it still does. When I share that story, it still fills me up in the same way. And my auntie ain't even here no more. She wasn't able to see me like this.
Oh, man.
She sees me, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that energy that she put in me from at 7 years old, it's still
because she put herself in you.
Yeah.
She put herself in you.
Absolutely.
So can I ask you a question? I don't want to get too philosophical or too deep, but do you think that the skill or the ability to be great at something can be passed down genetically? Like the music. Do you think the music, the ear, that was passed down through your family? Do you think you have that gift?
I don't think if I had experienced it in that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that's what sparks the fire. Somebody, you could be Norman. She was married to Norman Whitfield. You could be Norman Whitfield's child, but if you don't see Norman Whitfield working,
the exposure.
Yeah, it doesn't touch you in the same way. Like Georgianne Muldrow, she always talks about how her father as a jazz musician and her mother being at Agape. I'm like, yeah, you got to see it. You got to see it in motion for you to feel it and want to harness it. You know what I mean? But if you don't push the envelope to be yourself in it, then it's just kind of a speck of a sparkle.
Speck of a sparkle, because wow, because it's just a thought.
Yeah.
It's just a thought. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
It's not a tangible thing.
It's a passing moment. It's passing.
Oh, man.
You want to hold on to it?
You're just going to let it pass by.
Right.
So, I don't want to do like in comparison to today and back, but right now, if you were to take a snapshot of hip hop or where we're at in hip hop, is it missing that multiple artistry feel to it? Like you're more than just you're more than a rapper, buddy. You're an artist. Yeah. You have to know music. You have to understand why this is why this is. This is why this is here.
Right.
Has it become so compartmentalized that people are just one thing in it now, instead of trying to understand?
Right. It's to me, it's a generational thing. You know, what type of music were you raised with? You know what I mean? And then what kind of music were you introduced to after that? You know, live music touches the soul. I was just talking to my cousin Ja Ora, and he said he just finished these beautiful gallery pieces. This exhibit is phenomenal, and he did it by listening to Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, Isley Brothers. Those things, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Those things touch your soul.
Inspire.
They resonate with. They connect you to the universe, because live instruments, it's where we're from. You know what I mean? When you hitting them skins, it's not hitting a drum pad. You are touching an animal's skin that's connected to some wood. It's earth. You're connected. You know what I mean? And I think that is the difference.
Okay.
When synth music began, it taps into a whole nother frequency that is not of that.
Okay.
And I'm not taking anything away from it, because people create the way that they do.
Of course.
But it's limited.
Mm-hmm.
It is a limited sound. Are you synthesizing a sound? So you're creating a pretense of a sound that existed when that sound still exists. And then let's not forget about the beast that wants you to eliminate all of those live instruments and the cost of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if you have a musician come in and do a session for you, there needs to be a session report.
Yeah, they worried about the output.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have to actually damn, he just did 9 tracks for me. Typically, if you are union, you have to get paid per track that they just recorded for you. Nobody wants to pay all that. They'd rather hold on to it themselves or take little splices from them and be the producer.
Right.
I get it, because now it's been transformed into that. When actually we should be able to embrace each other and split that up evenly, and we're going to get it as long as we continue to do together. We're going to get that.
We're going to get there. We're not going to let business take the forefront.
Absolutely. So, I am from live and I'm from synth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Prince girl. I'm an Egyptian lover girl. That's where I started pop locking and whatnot. But if you think about Egyptian lover and you think about the music now, they're one and the same. It's the same 808. It's the same synth. It's the same sexuality.
Right.
I need a freak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same freaky shit. I get it. But when you're young, that's where you're at. I know that's where I was at. I was in a mini skirt. I was doing the freak. Yeah. But then you grow into something. Them elders that made live music, their elders passed them an instrument and taught them how to play it. Slapped their hand when they wasn't playing it right.
Understanding the origin.
Yes. Yes.
So it can have the power. You have to understand the origin.
Have knowledge of that. And if you don't, then you're going to synth out. And when you synth out, sometimes you can't find your voice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like the best way to find your voice is to find some old school vinyl and match those vocals you're listening to. Let me hear you match Luther Vandross. I want to hear the next Luther Vandross.
Yeah, let me hear you. Match yourself to a great.
Come on. Let's get it. But don't just be like a half-ass and then, you auto-tune that motherfucker out and then, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Is it? Yeah, it's there. Is it? But is it real? Is it real? When you get on that stage, you going to be able to execute that? Let me see.
Let's talk about stage.
Come on.
Let's talk about stage and how you killing everybody out here.
Thank God, man.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how your stage presence is killing. Because I watched, I looked, I listened, I saw.
Wow.
You are killing. And I'm not talking about women. I said everybody.
Thank you.
Your stage presence and your delivery and how you are on stage, it's obliterating people.
Thank you. Wow.
Why? And I don't know if you have the answer, Why is that not something that's being promoted all across? Look, check this out. This is LA's best. I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about LA's best rappers.
Wow.
This is one of LA's best rappers.
Wow. I mean, you know.
Look at the art. Look at everything about like how you don't like. I just don't like. I be dumbfounded sometimes. Lack of intelligence, you know.
Right.
But I know my extent of my knowledge.
Yeah, there you go. I appreciate you knowing that.
but look at you, look
you.
at what you bring to the table. Look at how you're doing, and I know I'm gonna do my best and do everything I can to promote and talk about what you've done. How is it that your stage presence is at a 10 like that? That confidence, that way to rock a crowd, that way to be in tune with what's going on. How do you do that?
I think it's more than what I want to get from them.
Okay.
From the crowd. It's what I want to give you to explode. I don't want you to give me something to explode. I want to give it to you enough to give back to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm observant. So if I'm looking in the audience and you're not engaged with what I'm doing, I'm going to up at 5. I'm going to up at 5. I'm not going to have an expectation that I'm Medusa, so when I get out on this stage, you better give it to me.
Yeah.
That's not the way to look at it. You got to give your utmost and your all. So when I get out there, I know that I'm going to deliver the whole of me. And I know that I'm connected with you first. I know for a fact I was out there in the audience watching the previous ones get down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give that. Like, I hope they inspire me. And if you don't, that's a whole stage. If you ain't got no band, how you going to fill up that stage in that room? I make sure when I get up there, even if I'm by myself, I want to fill up that stage and room. I just got off a tour and I was sick as a dog on the last show in Vancouver. I was sitting in the back, smelling the steam coming off the tea to clear my nose up to hit the notes that I knew I had to hit when I got out there. And when I did, you would never know I was sick. Never.
Give them their performance.
Yes.
They deserve it.
Full-fledged. All that you came to see it?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you something half-ass. I'm not going to cheat you because I don't want you to cheat me. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm on stage, I'm not trying to cheat you. I'm trying to give you all that I am. And if I can't do it, then I'm not going to come. And so when I'm up there, I am giving it my all. I don't care if it's 5 people or 50,000 people. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give it all to you. You feel me?
That's dope. And because I've been hearing a lot of rumblings of performances of people going to concerts and the effort not being there or feeling like you've spent on something that they didn't respect. They didn't respect that these people are here for me. They because what we have to realize is people have children, people have jobs. Time is everything. And for you to give me your time,
come on.
It means a lot.
It does.
It means a lot.
Especially when you're grown.
Oh man.
You stop it.
All the steps you got to get through just to get.
And give me some extras. Now that we're grown, give me some extras. I don't want you to show up like you would if I invited you over and we in the living room freestyling.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Put some ease on it. Put some respect on my money that I'm spending to come and check you out. I know that we just talked. I wouldn't mind if you said, you know what, I need a moment because I'm honing my energy to go on stage. I appreciate that because that's what I'm going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I get up there, I am going to give you what the universe is passing through me and me. That's a whole lot of energy.
That's a whole lot of energy.
And that's my domain. I consider that my domain. You know, I'm a Pisces, but I have a Scorpio rising. So that Scorpio gets on that stage and loses its shit. I become a whole nother entity.
The vessel.
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to give it all to you. I'm going to be back and forth on the stage. I might change outfits on you, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get it.
And the thing about performance, it transcends. Music transcends. It's not just LA. It's not just South America. It's not just this place. It's all over.
Yes.
And so, like, you just gave me a vibe right now, and I don't know why I'm going there, but my wife took me to my first play. I never have been to a play before, in our musical. Never played our musical, nothing. I was just a hood baby that was just like, I didn't do that. I don't do that. But she took me, and it was on Broadway, and it was Fela.
Oh, wow.
And it was my first introduction to my new life, basically.
Wow.
Like, it introduced me to my new life, and it was and Patti LaBelle was playing his mom.
Oh.
And we were in the back row. We bought the cheapest seats. You know, we can't afford it. But the back row, you could stand up and dance because nobody's behind you.
Nobody.
We were rocking out in there, just vibing to Fela. But then I started doing my research, reading up on him and how he performed, and the hours and how long, and the band and the dancing and this.
Come on.
Like what you're talking about, it transcends through artists and these vessels, and the ones who understand it are legendary.
Thank God. Yes. Yes. And I'm fortunate enough to have been around these legends. I've seen Earth, Wind and Fire perform. I've seen Gil Scott-Heron perform. I've seen the Isley Brothers. I've been with Tina Marie in her home, and lunch came and she went and sat down at the piano and just started playing and singing and was still liquid. You know what I mean?
How bad was Tina Marie?
Man.
How, like, because I love Tina Marie. My aunties, my mom, my aunts, they all love. How, like, I've never talked to somebody who knew her.
Amazing.
How bad was she?
She is amazing. I'm telling you, that woman sat down. I was in there to record a song for her LaDanya album, and I don't think she realized how fangirled I was in this moment.
Yeah.
Because I used to sit and listen and mimic You Make Love Like Springtime when I was young. I used to just eat that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be sitting with her, I was at Fatal Dose and I did my joint, This Pussy's a Gangster.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman walked up to the stage, and Lady Copper, God rest, said she wants to get out. And I didn't quite see because she had a little hat on. I didn't see who it was. It was Tina Marie.
What?
And she got up on the stage and started singing This Pussy's a Gangster with me.
No way.
Fucked my whole head up. And we singing This Pussy's a Gangster.
Oh, that's so dope. That's so dope.
She told me that I was her favorite MC. And I've sat with her in her studio with all these guitars up that she's collected over the years and listened to her tell me Rick James stories.
Oh, yeah.
In their relationship. This woman would be talking 1 minute and hop on the piano and start just to be doing something liquid.
When the gift chooses someone, it chooses them.
My guy. She was phenomenal. God rest. She was phenomenal.
So I love Tina Marie. I regret. I have a lot of regrets of not seeing certain people performances, and I let my anxiety keep me out of a lot of things. Wow. You know, like crowds and
I can feel that.
And like now, I refuse to let anything take over my experience where regret will be behind it. You know. And so we didn't get to see my wife, and she went, but I didn't go see Prince when he was at the Forum.
I did it.
And he sold out, like just did a bunch of shows, and I didn't go. I didn't see Tina Marie. It's a lot of people I didn't see. But is there anybody that you wanted to see, or if you could see, you would go? Who is that one?
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. Is the most phenomenal producer, vocalist, vocal styling, vocal producing. He's just one of the illest. And he wanted to do big band music. And they had him do R&B.
Really?
So that big band kind of bleeds through some of his music.
Yeah.
And his pain. The way he expresses his pain through the music is amazing to me. This man wrote an album when he divorced his wife. They told him the proceeds of your next album is going to your wife. So
Wow.
therefore, he sold that album for like $2.
What? I didn't.
$5. He was
Oh, he's cold.
and most of the songs on it were about her, like "Come Here, My Dear." All of those joints off
Yeah.
of that particular album, all about her. I was like, what an amazing way to use your pain.
Yeah.
I would have loved to, and I would have gave him some too. You know, I would be real.
You would have gave him some power that
I
beat.
would have gave him power to be so hard. So he would have
Gave
been.
the power to beat, Gangster
I would have made it all better. I promise.
Oh.
Yeah.
That Tina, like being able to share that space, like I'm a super fan. Like I'm big fan of Tina Marie. And my aunt put me on Tina Marie because I don't know what we were talking about. It was probably like who's the baddest white artist, singer, or whatever.
Yeah.
And hers was Tina Marie. I can't remember who my other aunt was talking about or something, but it was, and then it just made me dive into Tina Marie and just like look into it, like, and she was just something else.
Deja vu. Like that song right there. I'm young and I'm old, I'm rich and I'm poor. I feel like I've been on this earth many times before. Her writing, her pen was cold and it was vulnerable. I like vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Because vulnerability, does that take you to the core of something?
Yes.
Like the honesty of something.
Yes.
Vulnerability takes you to the honesty of a thing.
A thing and a person. When I teach, that's what I try to get my students to do.
Okay.
I'm like, the more vulnerable you are with who you are in your life, you're going to find somebody that resonates with that the most. You are actually speaking for so many people that don't get a voice.
Because that transcends. That's not just music. That's not just writing. That's conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
That's like an honest conversation. Like I've always talked about how I had a cancer scare, right? And through that cancer scare, prostate, but it ended up being nothing. But through that, I learned so much about it and how it affects us Black men at a way higher rate than everybody in the world. But what it showed me was like, well, if it does that, if we're at that rate, why have I not talked to a Black man about this? Why has nobody shared somebody that I've come across has to have experienced this.
Come on.
But we're not having those in-depth, honest conversations. I was talking to Headkrack about it, but that just opened up a thought in my head, was like, we're not having these honest conversations, these vulnerable conversations that hit right to the core.
Yes.
We're just passerbys.
That's why we don't, a lot of these generations don't get anywhere, because no one wants to be vulnerable. No one wants to put their cards on the table. That's why we lag financially as well. Nobody wants to show their hand. And that's so necessary.
Mental issue.
Yes.
Right? Like mental issues, right? Literally everybody has them.
Yeah. Come on.
But nobody wants to talk about them.
I talk about mine all the time. I'll make fun of them. I'll make light of a true and deep issue just to make it comfortable to talk about.
Right.
Sometimes you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, this person is going to leave, and I could feel something is not right. And no one.
You've been creating spaces. You've been creating healthy spaces for people. Like, I'm going to show you, but not just, this is a space for that. No, I'm going to show you by jumping in this space and being vulnerable here.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I'll do it. I'll be the first out here.
I will be inappropriately funny with it. My people tell me I'm inappropriate all the time. Like, why would you, while you're laughing, you're like, I can't believe you just said that. Yeah, but look at the conversation it sparked.
Right.
It needs to happen. You know?
So in your music, we touched on, is it a superpower to have this ability? Because I prayed so long in life, like, I just want to be able to sing.
See?
I just want to be able to sing. He just made me, but I just didn't get that gift.
Right.
I just didn't get the gift, and then he's back. I didn't get the gift, but with that is being vulnerable and being open to who you are allows people to be brave enough and confident enough to be themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
And them true selves might be some amazing shit.
Some amazing shit. Cause you sitting there saying, I can't sing, but you got a bad voice. You got a cold voice. And when you laughed and said, I can't give it that, I was like, that sounds real James Brown to me, man.
Let's go. See, you got that. See, I am talented. I knew it. I knew I had it. I knew I had it. Thank you, God.
I was just saying.
I got one of the baddest people on earth to say I got it. Hey, I'll tell you what, my brothers ain't never gonna not hear that. I got it. I got it on record.
I'm saying.
Oh man.
And it is a superpower. And what makes it a superpower is when you allow it to exist.
Mhm.
You have to allow it to exist. It took me some time for me to allow it to exist. In the beginning, Medusa had a certain sound. And when I listened to it, I knew that I wasn't quite comfortable with my voice.
Okay.
Now, I am completely, I will go all places with my voice. I love all genres of music, so I will do that.
Mhm.
I will sing some house, some R&B. I will, if you put some techno on, I'm gonna find a way to weave into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to allow yourself to be, and you have to be as honest as your life has been to you.
Because it's been completely honest.
Oh my God, it's so real. It will slap you with so
Crushingly
much.
real.
Yes. But it's like when you develop character based on these experiences, that means you've allowed them to exist and you've applied what you've learned in life and in conversation. Like if I can't apply it in a conversation, that means I didn't learn shit, or I'm not comfortable with what I learned yet. And that's definitely not me.
That's not you. It's so you said the young Medusa voice versus Medusa's now, the early Medusa versus the experienced Medusa now. It's a difference. Is the difference one, the confidence, or the not giving a fuck what anybody thinks?
It's the confidence and the not giving a fuck.
Okay.
It's a combination of the two, and now knowing where to sing from.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you're young, there is a pitch that you automatically have, and you lend it in your throat area, instead of singing from your belly. Keep that belly breath in there.
Okay.
You gotta let that out. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a comfort level.
What a gift. What a way. Okay, so this will be a few of the last questions. Is being where you are now in life, what would you tell young Medusa to help along in life?
Okay. That's a different question. I would tell her to know that you have something special. Trust that. Be okay doing it by yourself and learning you first. And know that the way you give is okay. It's just fine. Believe in the underdog. There's nothing wrong with that. Take advantage of every opportunity. Open your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed. Take advantage of that opportunity, that company that you're in right now. Introduce yourself. And make sure you always leave your presence when you leave the room. Always. Don't be afraid of the music that you've listened to being a part of where you serve from. And know that the money will come. Avoid that hustle at all costs. That money will come.
That is so deep because I'm really gonna take that. I'm gonna play that for my daughter. Like, I'm gonna play it for my daughter because you're speaking to your young self, right? But you see yourself in these young people growing up, and they're
Yeah.
not just. I'm not even saying just women or just everybody.
Yeah,
That's a message for everybody.
absolutely.
And what a way to put it. Like, don't that hustle, but don't make it about the dollar.
Right.
Don't make it about the dollar because you lose sense of what's really the value in it.
Absolutely. And you end up doing any hustle
Yeah.
at that point. You better choose your hustle wisely. Cause I done did some hustles now. Don't get it twisted. I was like, ooh, you got away with that. I literally did a sting one time where I was in binoculars up at the hill and watching packages arrive and making sure that they're carrying it away in a way that it should weigh what it's supposed to. Are they carrying it like that's a light box? Are they like,
Yeah.
I was really in some shit. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Mm-mm.
That type of stress, that type of looking over your shoulder and all. No, it's not worth it. I don't give a fuck what you're going to end up driving, how much money you're going to have in your pocket. It is not worth that feeling.
Because what are you getting with that?
Mm-mm.
What are you getting with that? Like, where are you advancing in life to with that? Like,
With that. Come on.
like that's really giving you that amount of value where you're willing to risk that.
Really risk your freedom?
Like, for what? Like, and that's the other thing is like how you just sent that message to your younger self, also seeing yourself in other people, is once we learn to value ourselves and see that self-worth, and I'll go back to check your feelings also, because you said women leaning towards European, once we as a people, and I'm gonna just say we as a people because I'm talking to us right now.
Yeah.
Like, once we as a collective see that value of how we make the wheels turn,
Come on.
it's over. It's over.
Over, like in a hard way. It's a hard stop. As soon as Black women begin to realize you are the beauty, you are all the strength.
You're the fucking standard.
You are. And you got to see that when you watch sports, when you see music, when you are the everything. Somebody said, "What's your pronoun?" I said, "Everything."
Everything.
That's my pronoun.
God is everything. I'm all encompassing. All encompassing.
You ain't gonna narrow me down in a little box for them to invest in and find a reason to. Nah.
How you gonna ask the universe what it is?
Everything. That's my pronoun.
Look at it. Look over there.
Stop.
Me. Look over there. Me. Look over there. Me.
All.
And that I didn't get to that earlier. I wanted to, when I was thanking you, I wanted to thank you for being your authentic self and being your beautiful self and showing the world how beautiful natural is.
Yeah.
And what our natural is the universe.
Yes.
And you are embodying that. You're walking out into the world, beautiful hair, why, unapologetically you.
Thank you.
Accept this or not. This is me, motherfucker. Like, I'm here.
That part. Come on.
And so I pray. Many nights I prayed and I've thought about it and I've said, like, where is this going to fall in? But I pray that more of our women, more of our people in general get that.
Yeah, me too.
Like, because we'll be far. If we're
heavyweight, baby. When I felt it when I walked through the airport on the last trip. Every trip, I try to make sure when I go to an airport, this is something still special.
Okay.
Especially for people of color. You are actually able to fly into another state, another country, whatnot. Represent like you're doing something special. So when I go to the airport, I am dressed. You understand me? I am giving it to them. I am the all when I walk through there, and all those looking like, what are you doing? wow, excuse me.
Yeah.
You look so, thank you for being, I've walked on the plane. Wow, thank you for dressing like, walked it by other black folks that happen to get it. And we look at each other and go,
Yep.
you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yes, it is.
Because we are representing us. Whether
Absolutely.
you know it or not.
Every time you walk out that door, stop playing. I wear my fly loungewear, and when I have Diva's Den, I got on fly loungewear because this is a Diva's Den. When I'm at home, that's what I have on. You feel me? But you're not gonna see me in no pajamas and some dirty slippers out anywhere.
Right.
You know, no disrespect to anybody that thinks that's fly, but putting it in perspective on how you're representing for the whole.
The whole.
The whole.
Because we're not in a privileged position where all we represent is our individual self. We're not there.
Come on. You better walk up out of here. What?
And you know what? I don't ever want to be there.
I
don't ever want to be representing just individuals.
Just me.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling slacky and slouchy today, so that's what I'm gonna give them. No. You don't have that to give. You better give it your all. So that they realize, like, oh, you are everything.
Damn right.
You damn right. Don't put me in no box.
Don't put me in no box, marginalize me.
Okay.
Hey, so I want to ask this. This is the last thing. What is next? What's going on now? What's now and what's going on next?
Well, what's now is I have an album out right now. One of my favorite albums. And I ain't put out many.
Really?
Top Shelf Funk.
Top Shelf Funk.
Top Shelf Funk. Georgia Ann Muldrow is the producer of it. So you talking about two bad women that get it. Two women that are resilient in their blackness and in using all aspects of who they are in music. Go. And it's funky. It's funk hop. You know what I mean? And I'm talking that old shit and that new shit in it. And people that actually listen from it from beginning to end, there are interludes. There are segues that connect songs together. I went all the way there.
Let's go.
And the cool thing about it, Aloe Black put us together for this album. So he is one of the executive producers. She lost the files. So I ended up taking it and mixing it from Joseph Lineberg's spot to Slap Studios to adding vocals from Joy, like really built on this 2-track, this stereo track, and I believe it's gold.
Oh, I can't wait to listen to it.
It's gold.
I can't wait.
Man. Top Shelf.
Top Shelf Funk. Reach to the top. That's where you get my
Come
funk.
on, that's where you get it. On the top shelf, baby.
That's where my funk's at. When you want it, go to that top shelf.
Come on. and the first joint on there is Poppin' Funk.
Poppin' Funk. Okay.
So the intro, just pay attention to the intro. I'm being me.
Yeah.
It's me. You get a piece of me. You get to see what you hear in this song. And then the single that's out right now is Double Dutch.
Double Dutch.
Okay. And Double Dutch is specifically, the video was filmed in Leimert Park. I feel like if you find the rhythm of double dutching, then you found your rhythm in life. I compare double dutching to life.
Because you got to get a rhythm.
Yeah, you got to get that rhythm. And once you got your rhythm, you can jump in any rope that's swinging. Any of them. Double Dutch. That's
Double Dutch.
One of my
Hey,
joints.
you got me excited and pumped up to listen to this shit. Let's go. Okay, so that's now.
That is now.
That's now. Double Dutch out now. That's the single out now. Top Shelf Funk
album out now.
Right now. So what is next? What is next for
I just put this
Gangster
out
Goddess
through
Medusa
through Gangster Goddess music. I put it out through Gangster Goddess. So I'm making myself the template for Gangster Goddess music. And I want to put out really fly left underdogs through this label. And I am working on a live situation. I have catalogs of music with different people that I've worked with. You know, from Rob and Bad Drew to Biz One. to Master C, Slap Studios. I just ran into Big Daddy Kane recently on my tour, and him and I are getting ready to do a joint together. And I'm super excited about that.
It's like a dream. Like your life is like a dream. Like everything you're talking about, everything that you have talked about, like what a blessing to
Thank
live
God.
what you live in. Like,
And that is the next step. Write a book. I'm writing to adapt it to a series.
okay.
My guy Daniel Ferguson talked me into that.
Thank you,
But,
Daniel. Thank you,
yeah.
Daniel Ferguson, for doing that.
But for the most part, I have been writing some screenplays, so I'm going to be that as well. Because I hear it, I see it, so why not convey it in all?
Why not?
Yeah, you feel me? So those are the next Medusas. But I have some videos. I've always kind of directed and produced my videos, so I have some that are coming from the Top Shelf Funk, just to show that I have that in me as well. That director, that eye,
And look, I can see the excitement and
Yeah,
passion
I
right
really,
there.
really am excited.
Let's go. Hey, I'm so happy for you.
Thank
you so much for being here, for sharing this
my
space
pleasure.
with me. You are a legend, and I am honored, I'm humbled, and grateful
Thank you
for
man.
this opportunity to sit here and talk with you. Thank you. This is Reality Check, Hidden Heroes, local legend over the whole world. Thanks to Goddess Medusa. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely. Hey, we out of here. Thank you so much.